Welcome to Pop Culture Roulette for all your pop culture needs. We're America's podcast. All
All right.
right.
All
Welcome,
right.
everybody. We are at full strength today. So, this is a number of episodes in a row. We got Justin
Yeah.
and we got Jeremy.
Yo.
So, last weekend, I went to see Stone Temple Pilots live in Soul Asylum. And Stone Temple Pilots played Purple, their second album, in its entirety, like tracks one in order. So it's pretty cool. And then after they finished the album, they played a couple songs off of the first album. But they were celebrating their 30th anniversary of Purple, and Live was celebrating the 30th anniversary of Throwing Copper, which we've talked about Throwing Copper many times on this podcast. So,
Mhm.
and then I was thinking, man, it was not that long ago, like a month or so ago, that I was at Hootie and the Blowfish and Collective Soul, where they were celebrating 30 years of Cracked Rear View Mirror for Hootie, and then just, I think, 30 years of being a band for Collective Soul. So it got me thinking, man, what else happened 30 years ago? What was it that happened in 1994 that made everything so ridiculously like that we're now celebrating it? So I got to looking. Also in '94, Green Day released Dookie, which, I mean, I don't know. I hate Green Day, so not not a big one for me, but I know that's a pretty big album.
Yeah.
Nine Inch Nails released The Downward Spiral, which that's a phenomenal album. That changed a lot of things for me.
Hmm.
Soundgarden released Super Unknown.
What was on that album?
Super Unknown. That was Black Hole Sun and Spoon
Oh,
Man.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we're talking some pretty big albums here. Let's get a Hole released Live Through This, which, I mean, I know Hole gets a lot of crap because Courtney Love is, well, just a terrible human being, but they had some pretty good music, like solid stuff. Offspring released Smash, which I mean, most people seem to think that's their first album. It's not technically, but that's the one that really kind of launched them, because that would have been Got to Keep Them Separated and Come
Oh,
Out and
yeah.
Play, Got to Get Away, Self Esteem.
Holy fuck. There's a ton of shit album.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. Weezer released the Blue album, so that's the first one, right? I'm looking at you, resident
Mhm.
Weezer fan.
I can't remember which colors come out when.
Yeah, okay, self-titled Blue. That's Undone. Say It Ain't So, Buddy Holly.
I think that's the first
Yeah,
one.
I think that's the first album. Stone Temple Pilots Purple, we already talked about. I mean, Rolling Stones released an album 30 years ago, but I mean, they've been releasing albums since 1962, so not the. So there, I mean, let's see here. I mean, Monster from REM, that was a pretty big album for REM.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, 90, there was something in the Tom Petty Wildflowers.
Mm.
I think was that the album that had Last Dance with Mary Jane? That might have been. Nirvana released their Unplug album, which, it's kind of like a live album, so I don't know if that really
Yeah.
counts. But Black Crowes released Amorica, which I don't necessarily, I can't. I mean, I am a Black Crowes fan. Like, they've got a lot of really good music, but I'm not a hardcore fan. So like, I don't necessarily recognize the what album, like what songs came off what album. I just remember the Amorica album because of the album cover. It
Nice.
was, as a youth in 1994, that album cover really kind of stood out to me. If you want to Google Black Crowes Amorica, and I am saying it right, I'm not mispronouncing America. They spelled it Amorica. That album cover is one of the more standout album covers. I don't know if iconic is the right word, but it definitely stands out. Oh, Pearl Jam released Vitalogy, so that was their third album. That was let's see, so that's the albums that got released in '94. Uh,
That's a lot of good music that came out.
yeah, yeah, but not to be outdone. Just we're gonna go ahead and look at some of the movies that came out in 1994. We're gonna go with True Lies, which we just talked about not that long ago. Speed, The Crow. This one's very important to the three of us. Clerks.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Never even heard of that one. The Lion King.
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
The Professional. That I think that was Natalie Portman's first movie, or at least the one that turned her into a star. Forrest Gump, which also means Shawshank Redemption came out 30 years ago. A little film called Pulp Fiction. I'm sure nobody's ever heard of. Yeah, here we go. Pulp Fiction. Yeah, so some quite big movies that came out in '94,
The Mask, Dumb and Dumber,
right?
Little Rascals, Little Giants, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Wow.
Ooh, Street Fighter,
I mean, do we want to talk about that one?
Naked Gun, 33 and a third.
So, and then we'll flip over to TV. I feel like this means more to you two than it does to me. Ah, Real Monsters.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Don't worry about me.
okay. Adventures of Timmy the Tooth. Is that something? I don't.
Oh, yeah, I remember Timmy the
Okay.
Tooth.
I have no
Hello.
idea what that is.
I have a VHS of that, and
Okay.
it was a creepy tooth.
I gathered that by the name.
You've got Aladdin the animated series. Do either of you remember that Ken Burns documentary Baseball? Or ever heard of
so.
Ken Burns?
Heard
Ken
of it.
Burns.
Okay, that was '94. Let's see here.
I was too busy watching Timmy the Tooth.
Chicago Hope. I mean, we're not going to get too deep into it, but it was a pretty popular show at the time, a show called The Cosby Mysteries.
What?
After the Cosby Show ended, he decided to do a 1 hour where he was like a private detective or but we don't talk about that anymore because of other things.
Why not?
The Critic, which I absolutely love. The Critic. It stinks.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Duckman. ER. ER started 30 years ago.
Wow.
Still going.
You ever watch that?
I watched it a lot when it was first on, and then I went to college and kind of lost it. And then by the time I was done with college, I was like, I want to watch it again. I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I've missed the last four. And this was before streaming, so there was no way to catch up.
Is there actual continuity with this show?
I mean, I think I don't necessarily know if it's not the way that say 24, if you miss one episode, you're done. I probably could have picked it back up and I mean, I feel like it's like most hour-long dramas that last for 10 years. There's an overarching theme to a season or stories, and you could probably pick it up. But I mean, that show launched Noah Wilde, George Clooney, Juliana Margulies. Yeah, that was a pretty big show at the time.
Never seen it.
But you're at least aware of it, right?
Yeah, but I've never seen an episode. Can't be that good.
Just
because it made it 30 years.
Well, I mean, it wasn't on for 30 years. It's there's only one show that would still be on the air from when all of these shows were started. Fantastic Four, the animated series, which all right, I mean, that wasn't little something called Fox NFL Sunday started 30 years ago.
Wow.
Best one on there.
And then maybe one of the biggest TV shows of all time also started 30 years ago. Friends.
Okay. I like Friends.
I mean, I enjoy Friends as well. I know one of us hates it,
That's because he hates people.
Hates a strong word.
Gargoyles, the animated series.
All right.
Inside the Actors Studio, which gave us a lot of really good Saturday Night Live clips. I mean, some of these stuffs, I mean, like Lonesome Dove, the series, like that was a big thing for my dad because he absolutely loved the Lonesome Dove stuff. But like,
I don't know what that is.
yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Jeremy,
It,
what is it? Do your best to
Lonesome
des
Dove?
do your best to describe it, Jeremy.
I'm gonna say it's about a woman who's trying to raise a family on her own.
no, it's some sort of Western thing. Oh, okay, here we go. This one I know is going to be very important to the two of you. The Magic School Bus.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Excellent.
I should have stayed home today.
Yeah, me too, Arnold. Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it didn't last very long, but it was pretty important at the time. There was a show called My So-Called Life.
Did they try to like bring that series back for a short period?
They might have, I don't know, but I know like it's what launched Jared Leto and Claire Danes and a few other people.
Hmm.
It was
Okay.
it was pretty popular for a very short period of time. But
The
let's
TV
see.
shows are very fascinating. I like the 90s TV shows.
Party of Five was
Okay. Did you watch that?
no, that was one of those shows that I mean I knew a lot of people my age who were watching it. Um,
You
but
didn't want to conform?
no, there was a lot of me not wanting to conform back in the 90s. Even though if you look at my musical taste, it very much was me being a conformist. Uh, I mean, I'd like to pretend it, but everybody who listened to the music that I'd like to listen to, we all wanted to pretend like we weren't conforming, but we were conforming by just being, it was just a thing. But who was it? Why am I forgetting her name right now?
Sarah Marshall?
No, not Sarah Marshall. I remember her, but oh, she was in I Know What You Do Last Summer.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay, that's not that. She
Wasn't
was,
she?
she was in that one, but that's not who I was
Okay.
thinking of. Okay, I'm
Let's
gonna have to click on Party of Five now. Hold on.
no, let's keep going. More
No, no,
things
no.
she could
We're
have
we're
been in.
done. We're
Give us
done.
give us more clues so we can help you.
Okay, no, because I wasn't even thinking of the right person. Okay,
Oh,
so I was thinking of somebody else. But Party of Five gave us Scott Wolf, Matthew Fox, Nev Campbell, and Lacey Chabert in the
which
whole.
one?
Okay.
Oh,
Which one of those?
it was Jennifer Love Hewitt. That was the person I was thinking. She did come out of that show, but I don't know if she started somewhere else. But
All right. Ghost Whisperer.
yes, apparently there was a live action series for RoboCop. I don't remember that. The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Oh yeah.
I remember that.
Sister Sister.
Yeah.
Now th
Go home, Roger.
this show meant a lot to me. Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Hold on.
I
Like
loved
That's a
that
good one.
show. They
Sister,
did.
sister. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, it's Sister Sister.
I was just gonna say I was reading something today about that because that I guess one of the girls was like, "I wish we were closer in real life. We've drifted," and she's sad about it.
Aren't they
That's my big contribution.
aren't
They
they
are
identical twins?
Tia and Tamara.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
but she I guess they're not that close anymore.
oh,
But it was a
okay.
headline, and I was reading through very fast. But I needed to contribute something because I heard sister, sister. Go on.
All right. They did the first miniseries for The Stand in '94. That one they did a couple years ago on Paramount. I didn't watch that one yet, but I mean, it's only been a couple years. Maybe I'll get around to watching it.
What about wait? Let's go back to Space Ghost for a second.
Okay.
Well, memorable guests.
Um, and there were so many, but the one in particular that always stood out to me was the I don't I know he's on that he's the Yan of Yan Can Cook.
Martin Yan.
Is it Martin Yan?
I believe that's his name.
Okay. But he was doing like a little cooking display where like he was like he'd picked up the chicken and made like the dead, it was like a chicken that he was about and he made it dance. And then like he was like and then he pulled out the big cleaver and like cut it in half and like Space Ghost was like, "Oh, you killed the chicken."
Nice.
Like I just remember like the react. I always tried to figure out if they were asking a set of questions and then they just had a comedian the guy who did the Space Ghost voice like ask random questions that didn't fit the questions or if there was actually like a set like the guy doing the voice interviewing. So like I never knew how they did that, but that show was always amazing to me. I've got most of the seasons all of the seasons.
It's cool. Yeah. Wasn't Weird Al a guest on there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Weird Al
Yeah.
guested. I
Yeah.
mean, they had I'm pretty sure they had a bunch of musicians on at the time. Like it was always one of those things that like it kind of reminded me of what like the Daily Show did a couple years after that. With like you never knew like if the people who agreed to do the show like knew what the joke was and were
Hmm.
in on it, or if they were just like, no, come do this interview, and they're like, wait, what? What did I just do? Like.
Right. Yeah.
Because some of the people you could tell knew they were in, that they were in on the joke and they were, game to do it. Weird Al. But some of the other
Mhm.
guests, you were just like, you didn't know what you were saying yes to.
Yeah, totally. I always wondered that about Eric Andre's show too, 'cause some of the guests were pissed.
Yeah. Let's see where else were Sweet Valley High. I don't know if
No,
okay. I know that was a big thing for teenage girls or preteen girls.
I definitely was not a teenage girl in '94.
The Tick, the
The
Tick
Patrick
premiere.
Warburton one?
No, the animated, the first one.
Oh,
The good one. I mean, the Patrick Warburton was pretty. The animated one was definitely. The Tom Green show started
Fuck
in
yeah.
nice,
'94.
nice.
I know Justin was a huge fan of Touched by an Angel.
Sure was. That's when Angels in the Outfield came out too, was '94.
Oh, okay. Well, Weird Science, the
Figured you would
TV.
know that as an Angels fan.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about that movie
Hmm.
because it makes my sucky team look even worse.
Because they need actual angels to help
Yeah.
them.
Weird Science, the TV series.
Oh,
Where
God.
Where on the Earth is Carmen Sandiego?
Nice.
All right.
And Wildcats, and that's all for the TV series. I mean, I skipped over a lot, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what Nickelodeon stuff came out in
Well,
'94?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
named the
I
stuff.
feel like you're gypping us on some things.
I went through the Wikipedia list here, and those are the ones that stuck out to me. I mean, you can feel free to pull up the Wikipedia list and look at it yourselves. But
I'm trying to.
it got me wondering, like, what was in the air in '94 that was happening that really made that year kind of step out, like it, because every so often, like, I'll go through and listen to like the hits of like the alternative hits of like 91 through like 96 or longer, and like 94, 95, 96 always step like musically, like that couple years was just amazing. But then I never think about the movies or the TV series of that era, and you're just like, wow, like some pretty impressive stuff that started that year.
Hell yeah.
All that came out in '94 too.
Bump in the Night. Do you remember that show? It
Oh
had the
yeah, no, I don't.
claymation
That's why I didn't talk about it.
Yeah,
stop motion. Wow, yeah, this 90 Creepy Crawlers, the TV series.
nice.
Yeah, I mean, there were some of the shows I skipped over because I was like, either I know you two never heard of it, or I've never heard of it because, I don't know. I didn't. In '94, I was in high school. So I would have been doing math here. Doing math on air is always a fun thing. Quality.
Street Sharks.
Street
Motherfucking
Sharks.
Street Sharks.
I have a complete collection of that on DVD in the basement.
Gullah
Okay.
Gullah Island. We gotta mention Street Sharks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I mean, I think I've heard you guys talking about Street Sharks in the past, but
They're like the anti-turtles.
the anti-turtles,
Yes. They're sharks, not turtles. They hate pizza.
who hates pizza?
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks.
Why do they hate pizza? See,
They're
now
anti-turtles.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them.
I wonder if you can stream it anywhere, Nicholas. That's your homework.
It's gotta be out there.
Oh,
We also had a very important show, Gullah Gullah Island, that came out in '94.
What the fuck is that?
It took place on Gullah Gullah Island. It revolved around this black family and this like yellow frog suited person.
What?
Yeah. It was pretty wild, but I loved that. That was exactly, I was like at the right age for all that great Nickelodeon stuff.
All right. Street Sharks is on Peacock, Tubi, Pluto TV, Plex, Prime, and Freevee.
Yeah, all three seasons are on Peacock, so
I expect you to watch at least one episode and come back with a report on how bad that you hated it.
I will tell you this. Now, I was going to try to edit around it, but I can't because, of how the conversation's going. I got to figure this fucking internet thing out because, like, I don't know what the hell is going on. Because I bought the extender and like I recorded Friday night and it was fine, but I recorded yesterday and I kept dropping out. Like I was just, it's pissing me off. Fucking Spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know maybe. Well, do I even have the ability to like hardwire the internet into my? No, I don't. Okay. Anyway, I know I was saying I was trying to do math on air when I was trying to figure out how old I was. So let's see,
What year were you born?
78. So I would have been
Tw-
16.
Six. Yeah, 16.
Yeah, I would have been 16 in 94. So some of the shows that you guys were obsessed with were kind of a little bit,
Not
you
the
know,
same.
not the same.
The
Yeah.
Magic School Bus.
Yeah, like I knew I remember hearing the Magic School Bus existed, but until I started hanging out with you guys, like I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I would have been 90. I was 7 in 94. That would have been the perfect time to be watching Magic School Bus and Bill Nye the Science Guy or
Yeah.
Beakman's World.
There's a picture of the yellow frog.
I don't know how.
If you could
Oh,
open that. Yeah.
okay. That is just a yellow frog. All right.
Binya Binya.
Hmm, interesting.
That's what I was up to.
All right.
And
Uh,
then I was like, I wonder if I can see that in real. That's the path I went. Try to take a lot of things to see, but never could.
It all started with that show. Should probably sue.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon. They really probably fucked up with some
I,
of the
you know,
cartoons they showed.
I feel like based on some of the recent documentaries, they owe some people a little bit more than you, but
That's fair.
We'll just boot you to the top of the list.
I'm
Move
the
this,
real victim
yeah,
here.
move this guy up. He had to watch these shows. Yikes.
so I did think it was. I mean, it's probably more telling of how old the bands were. But like when I saw Stone Temple Pilots last week, um, I mean, you had the three original members, and then obviously Scott Weiland passed away a few years ago. So they went out and hired now, unlike like say what Linkin Park is doing, where they're like, let's go hire the exact opposite of what we had. Um, like they hired a guy who kind of looks like Scott Weiland, at least from a distance
Hmm.
and sounds just like him. Like if you didn't know that Scott Weiland had passed away or wasn't the with the band anymore, obviously, you might have been like, "Hey, that guy." I mean, Jeff Goot, I believe he said his name was pretty good. Like I
Sounds
was,
good.
He's good. He's a good
yeah.
singer.
And then live, the only original member of the band is the lead singer. Everybody else is new. So you had Ed Kowalczyk and then a bunch of other guys that weren't around. And Soul Asylum actually they have more hits than I thought they did. Because when you think Soul Asylum, obviously, it's Runaway Train? Yeah, the
Yeah.
Misery Incorporated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But
But yeah, Runaway Train for sure. Yeah.
right, that's
Yeah.
their biggest hit. But yeah,
Yeah.
Misery Incorporated. But they had Black Gold,
Mm.
or I don't know. They had a couple, like they played like 4 or 5 songs in a row where I'm like, okay, I forgot this was them. Like I was actually, but again, the only original member of that band was also the lead singer. So just be aware when you're going to see old bands, there's not a lot of original members. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although when I went and saw Hootie and the Blowfish, I think that entire band is still together. And then Collective Soul, I think only one guy was new, and by new I mean like he started on like the second album. So like he's been around almost the entire time. So I guess it just depends on the band, but yeah. So what have you guys been doing the last couple of weeks?
That is a great.
Because I know last week I released that episode where I sat down with a couple of really big a nerds as I am, if not one of them might. What the fuck?
Yeah, I
Well,
must. I was frozen today.
excellent movie. I don't think it came out in 94 though.
Is it 80s?
That would have to be Suburban Commando.
Suburban Commando?
Yeah.
That would have been, yeah.
Anyway, well, you look up that because I'm curious. Yeah, last weekend I was at the Packer game, so I was up in Lambeau Field. That's what I was doing. One of the hottest games I've ever been to. Yeah. Luckily, the seats are in the north end zone, so you're in the shade. So that was good. I wasn't cooking.
Did you get to go to like some of the different areas around and look at stuff?
Yeah, we did like a lap around the stadium and we kind of looked at Titletown District and all that stuff. Didn't spend a lot of time looking at everything because, it wasn't just like it was just me. Like I was up there with Christy and her grandpa and everybody. So it was more like, all right, keep up or you're going to get left behind, kind of. No time to explore.
Right.
It was good.
Are you going to try to go up there for the draft next year?
I don't know. I would like to, but seeing how Detroit looked, I don't even know if I want to deal with that many people.
Yeah, but I
That
mean,
that city's going to be nuts.
how many people can Green Bay really fit in it to begin with? I mean,
I don't know. That's why it's going to be nuts. I think there's 78,000 at a game. So who knows how many people they're going to try to cram up there.
I'm guessing if you don't have a hotel already, you're probably not getting anywhere near Green Bay for the draft.
Right.
Suburban Commando was 91.
Oh, okay.
That's an excellent movie. Cool. Yeah, that's what I was doing last weekend.
That's fun.
Yeah, I don't even remember what time we got home. It was pretty late.
Geez. Feel like a loser. I don't really have anything. Like I set up a lot of Halloween decorations and I'm still getting ready for the big 31-day marathon, as we all are.
Yeah.
So I've just been doing a lot of editing, a lot of balancing with classes and stuff too. What was that?
A Christmas tree. Halloween tree that looks like candy corn.
That's nice.
Did you know they made candy corn nerds?
No.
Yeah, they make a candy corn. Hold on. They make candy corn nerds. So I
That,
think they're nerd flavored candy corn.
the idea of that kind of makes me want to vomit.
I know, but it also makes you kind of want to try it.
It
Yeah.
does. I'm not going to,
Okay.
because I like nerds
I do too.
and I don't hate candy corn, although I do like the gourmet candy corn more than I like the actual just regular candy corn.
The caramel apple candy corn. I tried that last year. That wasn't bad.
Right. I mean, they make like they have like all the various different flavors of candy corn that are, the
Mhm.
caramel apple is one, but I mean, they've got like I think they have like a green apple one. Like, I don't know. It's been a few years since I've been able to eat candy corn, so, I've never bothered to look into if they make a sugar-free version of it.
Yeah, I was helping with inventory and I was counting Halloween candy and I came across Nerds candy corn.
Huh.
And I was like, I kind of want to buy it, but I also don't want to waste my money. So I haven't bought it yet.
There's been some interesting candy on the shelves this year. They've got, I don't know if this is new or not, but Sour Patch has like a ghost pepper challenge now.
Oh,
What?
That was at Walmart on I think like one of the end caps in the seasonal section.
I'd do it.
I won't.
I'd give it a shot, even though those Takis made me sweat like a bitch.
I
Yeah, same.
Yesterday was inventory for my job, and my boss decided he wanted to have a chili cook-off or a chili competition. So I made a chili. I intentionally cut back the spice that I would have put in it.
Is it internet related?
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off. So I was saying something about a chili challenge that I was involved in, and I intentionally cut back the level of spice that I would have put in it, so that I didn't burn people when I made it. I won. I got a little trophy.
Nice.
Nice.
But I only put like one jalapeno in the chili, and then I cut back on like the amount of chili pepper, or the chili pepper and the chili and the red pepper flakes. Like, I used a recipe from Alex Cornicelli.
Nice.
I should probably let her know that I used her recipe to win a chili cook-off, but yeah, whatever. She put it on the internet. I get to use it however I want.
That's true. Just give her a little shout out.
So,
Ugh.
Okay, well, that's what we've been doing the last couple of weeks. Anybody watch anything they want to talk about?
I've been watching BattleBots, not relevant to any conversation, just putting that out there. And then
Like old episodes of BattleBots, or did BattleBots come back and I just didn't know about it?
I'm on season 5, which is 22, 2020.
Oh, okay.
No, 2022 is I think the season I'm watching right now.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that means they came back or if that's because I know they were originally in the early 90s.
Yeah, I mean, and then I watched it when they came back a few years ago, and then I don't know if they're still on anymore. But I love BattleBots. That show is so much fun.
It's on Max, and I'm just watching like season 5. It's like 2 years back. It's around COVID season.
Okay, I might have to pick that up.
And then I watched uh Boy Kills World.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
I saw that was streaming on Hulu, right?
Yes, it's on
Yeah.
Hulu now.
what
Yeah,
was that?
it's pretty good. I think this storyline's a little weak, but the action and everything makes up for it. Very, very violent, very graphic. So it's yeah, I'd recommend it.
Okay.
Cool.
Some of you guys can watch. And I think that's it as far as new movies. Now that everyone's back in school and I have the house to myself 1 day a week, I'm able to actually watch some of these movies during the day or shows and get caught up on. Because I watched all of Reacher season 1 as well.
Reacher's really good.
Yeah, I watched season 1 in 2 days.
Yeah,
Wow.
what are they up to now? Season three?
Yeah, I think 3 is the one that's
Yeah.
on now.
Like, I mean, not taken away from Tom Cruise, but Alan Richson is such a better Reacher than Tom Cruise ever was.
I never know his name, so I just always refer to him as Dad Castle.
Hmm.
Yeah, I never watched Blue Mountain State, so I mean, I'm aware he was in it. That's why I know what you were talking about. But
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that's good. I watched the whole thing in like 2 days, 3 days.
yeah, I really liked it.
Perks of finally having the house to myself for a little while each week.
Jeremy, you watch anything you want to talk about, or
Well, I watched some more Vice stuff, I think. Another season of Dark Side of the 90s started.
Did they have
And
the
then
94 season?
ah, well there was one about like paid programming and like as seen on TV stuff. That was really interesting. And they started another Dark Side series, Dark Side of Reality TV. They talked about that show The Swan and
oh,
Kid Nation. The Swan was awful. But
both of those shows were
yeah, I mean,
like just like terrible in concept to begin with. Like, what would make you think that's worth?
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. Dives into those. Otherwise, not really much else. I've been playing a lot of stuff. There's a great game on Game Pass called Grounded. Uh, it's kind of difficult. I'm finding that like as I get older, I hate this, but like I'm sucking at games now, and like I just have to play like easy shit and like turn difficulty down, or I get pissed, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, why can't I just figure this shit out? And but it's fun because it's cool. It's like a concept of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's a survival crafting game, and you're like a tiny kid, and you're like in this backyard, and everything's giant, and you're fighting giant insects, and it's awesome, but difficult. I have it on mild, and I'm still like, fuck this shit. But it is meant for 4 players at once, so
Oh,
see, yeah.
yeah, I'm not a fan of the survival games that I have to actually like care about like food and water on.
Hmm.
So like if I can just like do like the Tomb Raider survival style where like I just have to worry about like hit points, that's fine. But like when I have to worry about like foraging and like that kind of, I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm done. I'm out.
I struggle with that in real life.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Did I eat today?
Sometimes I'm in the mood for those kinds of games, but depends on like the forest. It's I like that, and I it's sometimes it's easier to manage than other times in games, but like yeah, it gets a little tedious.
like one of the, was it Subnautica or something, like where like you like most of the game is like underwater, like you got to find an island, like but like you like the half the beginning of the game was just like building oxygen tanks, and it's like I don't want to do that. That's not fun. Like,
Yeah.
Also, so the other thing I've been playing is Warzone right now, and I'm sad to say that I actually gave money to Activision, and 'cause they have a Halloween event going on right now, and
Mhm.
you can be Michael Myers. It's
Are
pretty
you
cool.
are you are you playing the Zombie Royale?
I have never tried that, but I would be open to playing it.
Yeah, it's a team style, and then when you die, you come back as a zombie,
That's cool.
and you have to collect. I think it's 4 syringes or kill other players to come back as a human. I have Call of Duty. I've been playing it a while. I suck at it. It's one of those things where it's like I used to be good at this game.
okay, so
Now
I
the
think it might be an age thing, Jeremy, because like I'm
now the
definitely there as
12-year-olds are
well.
just destroying me.
What's that?
I said I think it might be. I think you might be right about the age thing because I'm right there with you. Like I like the Hot Wheels game because like I don't have to play anybody. I can just play the computer. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Or the other one, like Rocket League, I've been playing again. I don't know if you've
Oh
played that
yeah,
one.
I like
Not in a
Rocket
long time.
But I'm like, I used to be good at this game. Nope, not no more. Can't do anything. Might as well drive with my feet.
I watched Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It finally went on Hulu a couple weeks ago. I love those new Planet of the Apes movies. They're so good. You almost forget like it's like they're not real monkeys. Like, you know, it's all just like green screen CGI actors in mocap suits.
Yeah.
Like it's so well done. Like I bet you the original actors that were in the rubber mask watch these movies and they're like, I don't why couldn't we have? I mean,
That must be nice.
must be nice to have the good technology.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, obviously coming up here pretty soon, we're getting real close to the 31 for 31. So, anything else anybody wants to promote, talk about?
Uh, I don't think so.
All right.
Well, I mean, you can always go check out that Freaky Film Club episode. Jason Goes to Hell. That's the latest thing I think I did.
Yeah, that's a fun listen. It's your one friend always has very interesting takes.
Yeah.
I
Lots of
can't.
interesting questions about it.
I mean, that movie is just a whole bunch of questions to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the main question is just why did they make it?
Right. Yeah.
Like, if you didn't want to make a Jason movie, don't make a Jason movie. Do something else.
Yeah, really.
All right. Well, then I guess if you weren't from the year 1994, just remember that stupid never walks alone.
Yeah.
Comic books have been around for almost a century, and in the last 2 decades, we've finally gotten to see many of these characters brought to life in movies and on TV. On the Moving Panels podcast, we discuss movies and TV shows based on, inspired by, and adapted from the world of comic books. Join me and my guests as we discuss both the good and the bad from Marvel, DC, and even some of the lesser-known comic book companies. Learn what is and isn't from the comics, as well as our nerdy review of the movie or show. New episodes drop every Monday, and you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. So join us for Moving Panels, and I'll see you on the other side of the page.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to an 80s Flick Flashback podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Do you love movies of a certain age? Do you miss the days of VHS tapes, VCRs, and the video rental stores? Does the thought of another 80s movie being remade seem inconceivable? My name is Tim Williams. I'm the creator and host of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. On each episode, I'm joined by guest co-hosts to discuss one of the many movies released in the 1980s. We share our first-time watch memories, our favorite scenes, and even learn some behind-the-scenes stories about the cast and crew along the way. New episodes are released every other Friday on your favorite podcasting platform. So make like a tree, get out of here, and go listen to an excellent episode of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. The ad is over. Go home. Go.